Okay, welcome flight simmers. We are in Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. That aircraft there is the new Inibuild A350-1000. And I'm using GSX, which is the third-party add-on that does all of the baggage and catering and the stairs over on the other side. We're in the Arab Emirate. We're at OISS. I'll have to look it up and tell you what that is. So this aircraft is very, very good. It has an interior, so you can actually go in there and this GSX, when it's loading passengers, they actually would bring buses out here and people would get on. I'm thinking maybe you can see the cargo bins going in there. Pretty cool animations. And of course I have the Virgin livery. Let's see, there goes the new container. We'll just watch here for a second. It's kind of fun to watch all this turns around. Cool reflections in the side of the fuselage. I've gotten so I can get the airplane ready for departure fairly rapidly. It's quite complicated. Being a type-rated Airbus 320 captain helps a little bit. So we'll leave those guys to that. Let's move over here. Let's go back inside. This is the EFB that we're looking at. And this is the ground page. So you can open doors and push back and there's a doors page over here with showing what doors are open. The PFD and the navigational display, and this is the ECAM, and these are the MCDUs or the FMSs. Flight control panel up here. Standby attitude indicator right there. It has kind of like three-dimensional, shows the ground and of course the route and altitude, airspeed, heading. This up here is the whole FMCA brings to mind Flight Management Caution Area. When you make a so let's go over here to SimBrief. That was my last flight from Kuwait to Shiraz. And now we're going to fly down back home to Dubai. So let's do a new flight. We are Virgin 577 OISS to OMDB. And we are a Airbus 350-1000. These are airframe presets, so when you load these, it loads all the information about the airplane into SimBrief so that it can plan the flight for you. And as you can see, it's already got the route of flight down into Dubai. So we need to generate the flight. We need to pre-file, and we're using say intentions, but I'm not going to use ATC this time. And here is the PDF of the flight plan. This looks just like you would get from the dispatcher in real life. Lots of information. We'll kind of go over it as we go. Couple things that I want to get right off the bat is the fuel. Actually, I need the zero fuel weight. Fuel on board. Takeoff weight. I'm writing all this down. Landing weight. Also, when you use SimBrief and a NavGraph subscription, a whole bunch of the stuff that happens is done electronically. So this is the load sheet. This brings in the SimBrief data about how many passengers we're going to have, and cargo and fuel and stuff like that. But as you can see, you could have 367 passengers. So let's set that. And the zero fuel weight is 426. That's thousands in pounds. And the fuel load is 46,406. And now it gives you a zero fuel weight CG of 30.33. Let's look over here at takeoff performance. So we can pull in the data, sync it. It says our takeoff weight's going to be 472.5. And this hasn't been working right over here, so 29 right. And you should be able to compute it. So there's the V speeds, flexing, flaps 1F. Trim. And you can send it to the FMS. I'll show you that in just a second. Then the landing data do the same. Only problem is you got to know the landing weight. So let's go back over here. And it's saying our estimate is 458.2. So 458. And now you can compute the landing distance. All kinds of cool information. And then you can look at the terminal charts. Let's see, this is our call sign. So OISS these are all the charts. Guess I need to go back to airport briefing. One of these ought to show, I don't know why, for some reason it doesn't show the whole airport. Oh, there it is. And it shows you right where we're sitting. Oh, 2 9s at the other end. And we need to look at the route of flight. You can look at it on here or you can look at it externally. So there's my route of flight right here. OISS 29. The Cupto 1. Cupto 1 Echo to Cupto. And airway G 666 to Orsar. And then Romeo 784 to Tatla. And then L 223 to Vutab. And the Vutab 3 Charlie arrival and a 30 left. And you can use this button to view both EFBs. So that was the airport. We're going to need that to taxi. The Cupto 1, that's what we're looking for. Sometimes what SimBrief gives you is not what you find. Oh, there it is. Cupto. All runways. I think I'm going to take off southeast just to make it easier. What did I say? Cupto 1E, right? That's the 1E right there. So if we take off, it says 29. So if we take off on the 11s, we intercept the 117, which is that thing right there. And you eventually get out here to Cupto. And then for Dubai, the arrival is the VUTEB. There it is, VUTEB. 3 Charlie. Wow. So VUTEB come down here, go downwind, turn around and come back. I kind of like that one. Oh, it's the 3 Charlie. Wonder why it doesn't. So these are all the IFR charts, and all this will go into the FMS MCDUs so that you can navigate these really sophisticated aircraft. So we're initializing the FMS. So the nice thing is you can request it electronically and it'll load all the information. I'm just waiting for it to show up, and now insert it. So there we are, version 577 OISS to Dubai with, that's our alternate. Going to go up to 37,000. The cost index of 119. That's a value that runs the airplane systems for the best economy. The departure, we said we were going to use 11 left. And the departure was the Cupto. For some reason, see, you're supposed to be able to scroll this down. For some reason, it's not working, or I don't know how to make it work. It's probably that I don't know how to make it work. Like I say, you should be able to put the X on that and slide it down like in Windows. Well, I guess we'll say none. We can put it in there manually. Let's go back over and look at that. Now I was sort of setting stuff up. So we're going to do the Cat 2 to 30 left. 30 left. Remember O dot there. You'll see that later. So if you pin the stuff, you can go back and look at it without having to. So we're basically going straight out here and down to Cupto. Let's see if I read that right. Okay, that explains how to do that. There's the airport at Dubai, the arrival, and the approach. Okay. Let's see what I was trying to do. Oh, I was going to go back. Look at that departure. The Cupto 1F. Let's go back and look at that. Cupto 1 left. Oh, that's right. I couldn't. So let's see if I can figure out how to. It doesn't really have fixes. Maybe I'll just go direct Cupto and come out this one here. Now if I was using ATC, so let's do that. We'll just go direct. So let's take this discontinuity out of there. Now we're taking off and going direct Cupto. And for the arrival, we're going to land on 30 left. We're going to do the ILS. via O dot, and the star is the VolTeb. So after you put all this in, then you have to verify it with the charts. Unless you're familiar with it enough that you know what that is, which I do. So that's the performance page. I sent that from the other one, so there it is right there, flaps 1. There's a V-speed, flexing 68, packs on, anti-soft, noise. Thrust reduction altitude is 5920. And the approach, you got to input that. So let's go back down here to this, and we can get the landing data right here. 30 left, 21C is the temperature. Winds are 198 at 5. Altimeter 1016. Landing weight is 458.2. We had that before. Let me see how many. Sometimes it asks you how many passengers. We're going to be full. Okay. So the winds. 198 at 5. 198. 5. Temperature was 21. Altimeter was 1016. And the radio altimeter on the approach. So let's go back over and look at that. On the approach, the DA is 50 feet. There is no DA for a Cat 3B. And the visibility is 75 meters. Not 750, 75. So times 3 is about 200 feet. So let's put 50 in there. Okay, so our approach speed is 144 and across the threshold is 139. Fuel load, 0 fuel weight, 426.1. That's why you write all this down. So that later, when you have to input it, you can find it. 30.33. And the block fuel was 46,406. 46. 406. Nope. 46.4.6. Nope. What do we got? 46.4. That's what it wants. 46. 46.4. Yeah. What did I say? 367 on the packs. And there you go. With that fuel load we got, the trip's going to take 13,600 pounds. It's going to take an hour and 7 minutes. We're going to land with 12.4, and we'll have almost 10,000 pounds extra, which is 50 minutes. There's the numbers for destination and alternate. Winds. Flight plan. Okay. See if we got, looks like the bags are all done. Let's go outside and see what's going on. Yeah, outside looks like it's all set up. The pushback tug is there, but I don't think we're going to need him, because we're just going to taxi over here to the runway and take off. Runway's right there. So let's go back over to ground. Let's shut our doors. Get rid of the chocks. Toggle arming the slides. The flight attendants would normally do that. And
this parking is too small for your aircraft.
Okay. So next we want to go up and start the APU so we can start the engines. So if you come back down, it automatically comes up on the ECAM. So you can watch it start. The flaps open in the back and it's already lit off. Not sure how we're going to get, what's that one? So in order to start the main engines, you've got a couple ways to do it. One is with an external air cart, or you can do it internally with your APU. Let's see if I can get my clearance. I'm typing on my phone. Say Intentions has a cool communication system. Yep, didn't like that. So let's go down here. Let's see what we have to do to get the clearance from them. This is part of Say Intentions, so you can so my flight plan is already in there, so let's generate it again for them actually. Let's pre-file it with them. If I was going to use air traffic, it's a AI air traffic. And I've already got it, so let's see if this will work. So if I'm recording this for broadcast, I probably should use the ATC, but I'm not. Will this be our own ATC? Let's see what happens now when I request a clearance. Nope. Still didn't like what I was doing. New flight. So now OISS is back here again. It says VFR flight. Of course we're not. We're an IFR flight. Uh-oh, there's the IFR. Hey, I got it. Information. Whiskey's current. You're cleared via the Cupto 1. Climb to 8,000. Departure on 119.0 and squawk 4322. Okay. So we're just using that for information. So it says climb to 8. Let's put that in. Where are we? Constraints. Oops. Constraints means all this fancy stuff shows up on the screen, like this says you got to cross it above that altitude. And, we want to go down and put our squawk in. So you got to go to survey, and there's where the squawk is. And it was 4322. And I can turn all that on. Normally, you have your transponder with altitude reporting on from the time you taxi out, because most airports have the data to show it on a screen, especially for low visibility work. And it has checklists. Gear pins and covers are removed. Fuel quantity 46.4. Takeoff data set. Barrows set. Doors are closed. Park and brake as required. And turn the beacon on. There was something the barrow. So let's turn the beacon on. Let's look outside. Hey, the beacon's on. We just got to figure out how to get... Uh-oh. We need to get rid of those stairs and the tug. So let's see what I can do about that. Let's shut that off. Well, I'd like for all that to leave so I can taxi out. We'll see.
This parking is too small for your aircraft.
Well, let's try that. Prepare for pushback and departure. There they go. Pretty cool immersion with all the add-ons and what Flight Sim has evolved into. I started flight simming in 1978 with my Apple II Plus and Sublogic's Flight Simulator. We've come a long ways. I guess those guys could sit there while you push back, but there's no... I think what I'll do is just push back a couple feet and stop. Maybe that'll get rid of all these guys. Okay, so let's go straight back. Let's see what happens. It said it would go straight back and stop. Oh, probably have to take the brake off. We'll see where we end up. Brakes off. Well, let's go ahead and start. Normally you get permission from the ground guy to start, but we're just going to go ahead and start. So there's boxes around all the stuff. It's all automatic. There's the bleed air from the APU, and the ignitions are on. And normally you would start it one at a time, but I'm starting both of them together. There's the flex. Reduce power takeoff. V1 146. I'm not sure why we haven't pushed. It says we're going to start. I don't have a tug. Boys need to go bye-bye. Oh, it's there. Uh-oh. That's what happens when you start the engines with the tug hooked up. Oh, guess I didn't have my thrust set correctly. Okay, there we are. We're down at idle. So, I'd really like to get rid of all those guys. It's nice when they do their thing, but they kind of get in the way. And we may just have to taxi out anyway. I'm just looking at checklists. After start, ECAM's normal. It will be when I get everything set. Let's arm the spoilers, put the flaps, reset the rudder trim, turn off the engine start, set the auto brakes, and do the takeoff configuration. And now we're no blue. Anti-ice. I'm not seeing any weather right now, so we'll leave anti-ice off. ECAM normal pitch trim set. It is. Rudder trim neutral. We're complete. I don't understand why it's not going to the before takeoff. Flight controls. You want to do that? That's kind of a fun thing to do. That's stupid because you have to do it. Flight controls right there. Back up to the ECAM. And let's do them. So let's do the rudder first, all the way to the left. All the way to the right. Elevators all the way up. All the way down. Right aileron and spoilers. Left and spoilers. So that would be good. Flight instruments are both set. We briefed. V1 are on, squawk is set. Takeoff runway, cabin crew advised. Packs as required. Complete. Go back to FMS. Flight plan for takeoff. And let's put the engine page up. And now all we have to do is taxi out. Okay, you guys. So there's the runway over there. So we're going to see if this will move. There it goes. No, probably ought to turn the taxi lights on. Oh, that's an airplane sitting there. So ATC says taxi in position and hold. Actually, it's called line up and wait now. Always want to use all the runway. Okay, let's stop and check everything out. Got no blue, nose wheel steering disconnected. Not sure why. Let's see about that. Let's see, I want the departure. That's what I want. There we are on the runway. We're just going to take off and go direct Kupto. What's on the other side? I guess we'll do that later. Oh, I was looking at why the pedals were disconnected. Come on. Well, you wouldn't take off with the nose wheel steering disconnected, so... Well, let's see if that doesn't matter and we can take off anyway. We'll give it a try. You normally wouldn't, so. Going up to 8,000. No. Okay. 8,000. Cleared for takeoff. See what happens. It appears the nose wheel steering's working. One thing is there's not any sound in here. Aircraft sounds, but not, they need some ambient sound. You'll hear the guy say V1.
V1.
Positive rate gear up. Runway heading. Turn on the autopilot. Bring the power back to climb. And now it's turning on course. Looks like it's set right. Flaps coming up. Climb power. That's derated climb power. Says we're accelerating to 250. And now we're cleared to higher. So let's put in 25 for now. I need to go back and look at what the filed altitude was. 37. There it is. And we're climbing out. And there we are, going direct. That's really cool, having your position on all the charts. 250 below 10 should accelerate when we get up higher. And we need to pull that back down. Flaps are up. Let's see what happens when we go through 10. There's 10, and now we're going to 313 on the climb. And there we are going out to Cupdo. There we are accelerating. We're still climbing 1,200 feet a minute. Burning about 35,000 pounds of fuel an hour. Still climbing 1,000 feet a minute. Microsoft Flight Simulator, the reason I'm flying it is because X-Plane just does not have visuals. Oh, you can hear them engines whining. Okay, we're going to 37,000. And it says we'll be to Cupdo at 2045. Got about a 25 knot tailwind. Still, where's the clock? Still having trouble with the clock. We are keeping this page for activating the approach. That's my present plan. Except on the last flight I forgot. I think it did it anyway. 13 is probably standard. Yeah, there ought to be some ambient wind sound in here, so they'll probably work on that. Remember, they just released this a couple days ago. Definitely is a great plane. Okay, so we're almost at Cupdo. So, VUTOB. That's really the next. There's VUTOB at 12,000 right there. One thing I didn't do was go to the plan page and check every fix like you should do. Like you would do. Nighttime flying. 2047 in Dubai. What would that make it local? Okay. Oh, I was going to see about having Voltar on. How come? Oh, there I am. So I didn't put it in. This is Volanta, which is a VS, right? It's kind of nice. It's got all kinds of information. Had a 19,000. We're still climbing at 1,700 feet a minute. 84.7 is the D-rated climb power. Remember, you take off with flex and derate the climb to save the engines. You don't need them running full bore. Let's see what's on the other one. Landing data. We'll leave that over there for now. Well, let's put the range on the map. I don't know why it goes to nav. I need to look at that more. There's our top of climb right there. Pretty cool instrument setup, isn't it? Okay. Still climbing 1,400 feet a minute. Airplane does have a lot of power. Oh, let's look at airports. Let's turn on the auto brakes for landing, so we don't forget that. Yeah, it's too quiet. Ought to have some wind noise for sure. Like I said, they just released it, I think on the 27th of February. They've already got a update out. I don't have any major qualms about it except that sound in here. APU bleeds on, but normally you would shut the APU off after you started the engines. I'm just leaving it run. That way I don't have to start it when I get it there. That's stupid because you're wasting a bunch of gas. I would push some buttons, but I don't want to cause anything to happen. Again, this is a flight tracking software, so you can, we're at 25,000 feet, ground speed's 464, we've been in the air for, nope, we got 28 minutes remaining, climbing 13,000 feet a minute. Estimated time of arrival is 21:22, so about 30 minutes, that's what it said. Now, one thing you can do is you can increase the speed by 2 to 4 times if you don't want to sit here and let's look at that. That's under options, simulation, time constraints, 4 times. Let's see what happens. Should see us moving a lot faster. Not on that. Watch the mileage, it goes pretty fast. Oops. This time is would be good for like flying a 10-11 hour long flight from like Dublin to Newark. I made a mistake and had this on for takeoff. I got a video of that. It was pretty fast. Again, this little blue symbol shows top of climb, and here's top of descent. Oh, we're out of 36 for 37. Alt cruise. Got just a little bit of headwind. We're doing 0.85 Mach. Pretty fast. Also, this airplane's cabin altitude is really low compared to what it was an older generation aircraft. Let's see if we got time to look. Pressurization. Yep, we're at 37,000 feet. The cabin's at 62. Normally it would be up about 8. The good thing about that is you are more rested when you get where you're going. Yeah, look at that. Oh, that's the tenths, but going down pretty fast. The distance. Oh, I just passed top of descent. That ain't no good. Let's put that back and shut it off. Charts. VUTOB at 12 and 230. 12 and 230. I don't think it would be going down yet, but let's go ahead and put it. Next altitude's 12. Well, the 12,000 fixed 60 miles away, so let's see what it shows now. This is pretty cool. It's showing the range of airspeed that the airplane's going to keep it in. And the little green dot is the ideal, I think. I may be incorrect, but... 230 at 12, I believe it says that. Yep, 230 at 12. Thrust is idle. Auto thrust is on. So if you push these buttons in on the flight control panel, that is managed, and if you pull them out, that is selected. In other words, if you let it fly what it wants to fly, that's all that pink stuff. But you can fly it yourself if you should so desire. Looks like we're going to be at 12,000 at Lubbock, but we want to be at VUTEB. And it's so it's trying to maintain that speed. Since the thrust is at idle, I just did the vertical speed. Normally what you have to do is you have to deploy the spoilers if you can't do the things that need to be done to get to your altitude. So that okay, so it's speed mode, 1,800 feet a minute. 12,000. 3,000 feet a minute. Let's see what happens when I do that. So the only thing I can do is pull some spoilers out. So if we want to go 3,000 feet a minute and we're at idle, we got to put some drag out if we want to slow down. Well, we'll see what it's doing. It says we're not going to be at 12 till then, but we'll watch it. Let's go with full spoilers. So we're still going down 3,000 feet a minute at idle, but now the spoilers will help slow us down a little. Whoa, they want 230 knots. That's bad. Oh, there's 230. Okay. Well, let's see what happens here. That's slowing down now. Remember when I had it on 4 times, I passed up the top of descent? That's why I'm trying to catch up. It's really hard to come down and slow down, especially if the thrust is at idle. So we are slowing down. So we would just advise ATC that we're not going to make VUTUB at 12. And then he can do what he needs to do if he's got traffic. Oh, there we come on the screen. Little pink guy. What was that? 3016. There we are at boot tab. How we doing? Out of 17. Not making nothing. 11 now. We might as well go 8. We might make the 8. Luckily, we're going to go downwind for 30 left. If we were landing on the 1-2s, we'd be in trouble. Wouldn't be able to get down. Oh, there's a spoiler. See him? That's cute. 230. Well, we're going to make 8 now. There's Dubai. Hey, there's United Emirates flight below us going the same way it looks like. It's kind of cool for immersion for traffic. What did that say? 11 and 230. Yeah, I'm close. No cigar. Well, in this airplane, I've went from Dubai to Riyadh to Kuwait to Shiraz and then back. And we're coming up on let's see, I think I'll leave it on 8. Then we got to slow down to 210 at 7,000. So we're going to go downwind right there. Four miles from the 8,000 restriction. Now we're slowing down finally. Oops, better get rid of the that will cause problems later. Okay, and now 210 on the speed. Eight for 7. .210 at 7. Ooh, I need to arm the approach. Okay, that's done. I have it on selected speed, so I'm controlling the speeds. 7,000 at 210. We're looking good. Flaps 2. Ooh, flaps 1F. So what that means is flaps 1 and slats out on the front. Level 1 at 7 at 210. Crossing the coastline. Look at all them helipads. Let's see where we're at on the chart. Coming across putted. 210 at 7. 210, 7. Looking good. It's kind of nice to see what the names of everything are on the ground. These charts that you see are recently the government fired all of the FAA guys that produce charts. We'll see how that goes. Well, we're going past the airport. There it is, right there behind the wing. That's where we're going to land. Now you could get radar vectors by ATC for a visual or an ILS. We're flying the procedure. See some airplanes out there. $185 at that fix for return base. Remember, we're going to ULDOT, so we're going to go right in there. That'll put us on final for the left. So I'm not sure if you go managed on the speed, if it would stay at 210. No, but goes to 140. So 185 and 15 miles. So flaps 2. Hard to read the damn sign. Can't read it. Nice square pattern here. Hopefully this is picking up. I have trouble with my headphone jacks. Pretty cool charts with your picture of where you are. Let's see, we're eventually going to go down to 2,000. Let's see if I can see what that. Oh, that's the approach. Doesn't have any altitudes on there. Well, it says max speed 210, max altitude 6,000. There's what we're doing. So 2,000 at ULDOT. Come on. So I'm looking at two EFBs. Maximum HA is 4,000. Let's go down to 4 and see what happens. And let's arm the localizer. Turn on the ILS. Got some little mountains out here. We're not going much farther before we turn. Turning base. And we can probably intercept the glide slope at higher than the 2. Turning final at 4. What happened to that? God damn it. Approach. 3. Two. Well, it says 2,000 at 185 knots, so we're a little slow. Let's go ahead and arm the approach. Turn on the other autopilot. Now we're land 3 dual. There are the runways.
2,500.
2,500 feet above the ground. Even though it shows 185 at 2,000, ATC can slow you to whatever speed they need. You can see there's 3 guys in front of us. I'm not sure whether that 523 is the closest or not. Ground spoilers armed. Cabin's ready. Here we are, finally came on the map. And we're at 3,000. A lot of high-tech toys in this aircraft. Can you see your wingtips in this thing? Nope. we're just going to stay at 3. Sometimes there are crossing restrictions you have to make because of traffic. Glide slope's alive. Glide slope is green. That means it's captured it already. Maybe that's why it's staying at 3. Notice that the VASI, so red over red, you're dead. That's because we're not on the glide slope yet. One last look outside. You can't hear all the fun calls. Glide slope gear down. Final speed. Flaps 3. Flaps full. Glide slope is green now, so that means it's captured. I guess blue means it was waiting.
2,500.
And we're supposed to be at the approach speed, which 160 looks a little fast. Yeah, there's the speed it should be at. I think it was 142 or something. 139 across the fence. I'm not sure why it didn't go to the right speed. Set the missed approach altitude. $3,000. All this symbolism here is for stall protection. You can also set this airplane to slow down and plan a turnoff. I haven't done that yet. This is a full automated Cat 3B Autoland. All I have to do is taxi off the runway.
1,000.
Got some strobes at the end of the runway, huh? Those runway lights are bright.
500.
See, now we're just a little high.
400. 300.
Little high on the glide.
200. 100 above. 100. Minimum 40.
Glide slow.
30. 20. Retard. 10. Retard.
Auto brake off.
That's called using the whole runway. Oh, those damn reversers didn't work. We're here. APU's running. We can shut off the engines. Let's see if we can get the no, I don't know. Got the GPU now, so shut the engines off. Now I can shut the APU off. Uh-oh. I guess I didn't select the, come on. I didn't select the external power. Well, there you have it. An A350 by Inibuild. Nice little cross country. Autoland. Okay, we'll see you next time. Fly safe.